initiative at the initial stage and filed a PIL on behalf of the victims in the Haryana High Court.
Law Network was part of the fact-finding that was done on the case of Mirchpur, the violence that had occurred and all of that. And by June of 2010, what had happened was that all the rehabilitation that legally the victims of belonging to the scheduled caste are expected to be given in the matter of an atrocity were not given. Nothing was forthcoming. Therefore, the victims of the atrocity, the Balmikis of Mirchpur, approached Human Rights Law Network to file a public interest petition and to approach the High Court. The High Court of Punjab and Haryana was approached and a writ petition was filed there.
As the hearing in Haryana High Court was delayed, the Human Rights Law Network decided to move to the Supreme Court. After the intervention of the Supreme Court, trial was shifted from the Hisar Court to the Special Court of Rohini.
वहाँ ये आचरण वालों ने हमारी पूरी मदद की है और पूरी कोशिश की, क्यों उस सेंटर में सरकार होने के कारण, हरियाणा में कांग्रेस सरकार होने के कारण वो डर सोनिया मिली भगत थे, इसलिए वहाँ हमारी कोई नहीं चलने दी। हमने गवाही भी ठोक के दी थी, बढ़िया गवाहियाँ दी।
While this petition was pending, the criminal trial in Hisar in Haryana started, and which was happening at the special court, since there is a special court under the SC/ST Act. It started there, but the atmosphere there was very, very charged, both inside and outside the court. The entire Khap panchayats of many villages belonging to the Jats were gathered outside the court for every hearing, so much so that it was even very, very difficult for the lawyers who were helping out the victims to enter the court. And on the basis of that, on the basis of the report given to us by the lawyers over there, the Human Rights Law Network moved an application in the petition that was already pending in the Supreme Court, asking for this criminal case to be transferred from Haryana, from Hisar to either Chandigarh or Delhi. The Supreme Court, after asking for a report from the district judge and on the basis of the report given by both the lawyers who were involved representing the victims, transferred this case on the 8th of December of 2010 from Hisar to an appropriate court in Rohini, in Rohini district in Delhi.
Special Court in Delhi held a total of 15 people guilty of various criminal acts in the case of burning alive of a 60-year-old Dalit and his physically challenged daughter at Mirchpur.
This is the only criminal trial in which so many people were examined, but it got over in a matter of about 6 months. And secondly, and most importantly, it's the first time in the history of Haryana and in the history of the SC/ST Act that convictions, especially life convictions, have been given for a case in which Dalit atrocity has taken place.
Kandhamal district of Orissa, one of the poorest districts of India, was targeted with violent attacks between Christmas Day of 2007 and 2008. In 2008, unprecedented spate of attacks on Christians and their property and institutions began following the assassination of an icon of Hindu nationalism, Swami Lakshmananand Saraswati, and 4 of his disciples on August 23 in the Kandhamal district of Orissa. Hindu extremist groups blamed local Christians for the killing. As a result, anti-Christian violence spread throughout in 14 of the total 30 districts in Orissa.
24 तारीख रु आज्ञा से माने बजार बाड़ी भांगिले से दिन हाट दिन थिला बाहर सब माँ माने आसथिले आम क्रिश्चियन माँ माने सेटा तो लास्ट हाट हमर 25 तारीख यात्रा रो क्रिश्चियन माँ माने सब आसथिले से माने राति रु आके डिक्लेयर कर देथिले जे काल के हाट बाजार सब बंद कई हेले भी से हाट वाला माने जे आसथिले हमर एटा लास्ट व्यापार कई कि परमिशन मागिले थाना को जाय कि खुलिले सब लुगापटा खुला हला तापर एमती दूर दूरांत माँ माने सखाळ सखाळ आसथिले हाट जस्ट खुला है से माँ माने ना कि जिनस पत्र लुगापटा एमती बाछिबा भितरे जते हिंदू भाई माने ना कि जाय कि से माँ मान को घौड़िले एतकी कहला पर आमे सब डर थर आका अच्छु आ कोन करबु उपाय ना समस्ते थाना को दौड़िलु आमे सब पूरा बामणीगा जते क्रिश्चियन बापा माँ सब थाना को गलु सेठी आमे रहिचु रहिबा भितरे 2टा फोर्स गाड़ी आसिला आमे कहलु सकाळ ठू आमे एते रिक्वेस्ट करथिलु फोर्स पठेबे बोली कहले ए पर्यंत भी आउरी फोर्स पठे नाते एबे हमर सब एमती क्षति हैला को पुलिस ऑफिसर को कहूचु कि हमर माने कथाडा कान नेले नै आम कथार जम्मा उत्तर देई नांती पुलिस ऑफिसर नै कलेक्टर नै सब कलेक्टर नै एसपी नै डीएसपी नै केही नै।
Estimates based on reliable sources suggest that in the violence, 315 villages were affected and at least 70 persons were killed. Over 4,640 Christian houses were burnt and at least 150 churches destroyed, and 13 Christian schools and colleges were damaged. It is estimated that over 50,000 people were displaced by the violence, with over 20,000 living in over 14 relief camps set up by the state government.
तापरे 25 तारीख दिन 10 घंटा पर बेलू से माने ए चर्च आक्रमण कले। चर्च आक्रमण करी हमर ए हरिजन बड़ साही ब्राह्मणीआर हरिजन बड़ साहीटा को से माने ये कले केतेटा घर भंगारंजा कले।
Human Rights Law Network played a critical role in terms of intervention in Kandhamal district, where Christian minority was facing persecution at the hands of fundamental forces. HRLN unit in Orissa organized fact-finding missions and provided legal support to those who were affected by the communal conflict.
Say when the riots took place in Kandhamal and the Christians were being slaughtered, Christian Dalits were being killed, we immediately moved to those areas and set up legal aid centers. It was a very difficult thing to do, because the riots were still going on, some people were still being killed. You know, it was very dangerous also, but we moved to certain areas and set up work in these areas.
The year 2002 has been one of the worst years in the communal history of independent India. The communal carnage in Gujarat was such as country had never experienced except at the time of partition. The communal killing shook the country and the whole world. The genocidal attack on Muslims by mobs of Hindu extremists and fanatics, followed by the burning of a coach of the Sabarmati Express at Godhra on February 27, 2002. During the rioting in central and north Gujarat, more than 2,000 persons, mostly of minority origin, were killed most brutally. The Gujarat government under Chief Minister Narendra Modi sought to justify killings by describing them as a reaction to the violence in Godhra. All the violence and rioting happened with the complicity of police and bureaucracy.
28 फरवरी के सुबह में करीब 8:30-9 बजे के करीब सुबह में इतना बड़ा टोला और अचानक ही मतलब के तीनों तरफ से ये अटैक किया। तो शुरू में तो ऐसा लगा कि पुलिस शायद यहाँ पे पुलिस का प्रोटेक्शन भी रखा हुआ था, तो ये पुलिस शायद भगा देगी, उनको नहीं होने देंगे, लेकिन वो आखिर में ठेठ यहाँ तक आ गए। और आने के बाद में जब ये मस्जिद पे सबसे पहले जो शुरुआत हुई है तो यहाँ बाहर मस्जिद से करी है। और पुलिस जो थी, पुलिस भी कुछ धीरे धीरे मतलब जो यहाँ पर हमारे इंतज़ाम के लिए जो पॉइंट दिया था वो भी उनके तरफ चली गई। काफ़ी लोगों ने पुलिस से रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे थे हम लोग, तुम अंदर चले जाओ, तुम अपने अपने घर में चले जाओ, लेकिन हम तो अपने घर में या अपनी जगह पे ही खड़े थे। जो बाहर से आए उनको पुलिस का काम था उनको भगाना, क्योंकि हम तो हमारे घर पास हमारी जगह पे खड़े हुए। लेकिन पुलिस ने फिर आखिर में क्या किया कि वो उनके साथ मिल गए। और स्वाभाविक है कि जब एक कोई टोला आता है तो अपने देखने के लिए, और कोई सुनता है तो वो आता ही है रोड पे या रास्ते पे देखेगा ही। तो इस तरह से मतलब कि काफ़ी मस्जिद के सामने जो अभी चौकी बनी है वहाँ पे भी काफ़ी औरतें, बच्चे, आदमी सभी आए वहाँ पे। थोड़ी देर के बाद में पुलिस ने क्या किया कि वो लोग जो पत्थर मारा कर रहे थे और पुलिस ने भी उनको भगाने की बजाय या मुसलमान जिस जगह पे खड़े थे उनके ऊपर सीधा फायरिंग शुरू कर दी। और फायरिंग भी अंधाधुंध हुई, किसी को छाती में लगी, किसी को पेट में लगी, किसी को गले में लगी। तो बस वो उस टाइम पे फिर हमारे